This is the Concert Cruiser, and welcome back to Hoof Rock, where I look at the songs of MLP. But this time, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm gonna do my top 5 concept albums. Now, for those who don't know, the tracks on a concept album tend to have a larger purpose or meaning as a whole, rather than individually, like say with theming or a narrative. This tends to be accomplished through lyrics, instrumentals, or compositions. And they may require a bit of research before getting into if you want to enjoy it at its fullest. And with that out of the way, we're counting down my top 5 concept albums. Number 5. Abigail by King Diamond. Abigail tells the story of a couple that moves into a haunted mansion, where they discover
a pleasant experience in a house that is in no way disturbing. The pillows were soft and the pretzels were yummy.
Yeah, this is too gruesome for YouTube, so you'll have to Google it. But musically, his guitarist is insane! He has some of the most amazing shredding skills. Plus, the mixing is spot on. The bass is smack dab in the middle, which is where it really needs to be. You can feel that oomph, but you can still hear it. King Diamond is also known for a vocal technique. Yep, his falsetto scream. And with his scratchy, gravelly voice, he has the perfect banshee vocals. And face paint that actually looks creepy. Unlike some people.
I'm Satan's onion.
He may be an acquired taste, but if you're a horror fan, then this album is worth checking out. Number 4. The Incident by Porcupine Tree.
I don't know if you've done any prep thinking about your 5 best or 5 favorite Roadrunner records. Lay it on me. Let's hear it.
Okay, for the first one, I'd have to give it to number 5, Porcupine Tree's The Incident.
I have an interesting history with this album. See, I used to work for their former record label, Roadrunner Records, and I got a signed CD booklet of this album as a reward. I later bought the album and was surprised to see it's a 2-disc set. I thought, wow, not a lot of bands do that. I popped the first disc in to find out that the first disc is an hour-long song. What? And the kicker? It was good! So good that I had to see them in concert. And the first thing they did was play that hour-long song, and then took a 10-minute intermission. Like seriously, they actually had a digital clock projected on a wall that counted down from 10 minutes. And when it reached 0, the concert resumed. Yeah. Now, lyrically, the frontman, Steve Wilson, said he was driving and saw a sign that said, "Police Incident," and everyone slowed down to see what happened. And afterwards, a sudden realization struck. The word incident is a very detached word for something so traumatic or destructive for the people involved. Then he had this sensation of that spirit from the car accident sitting in the back of his car. And he started to pick out other incidents reported in the news and media, and every song is written from the perspective of the people who went through such an incident. Not that every section of this song is bad. The song Kneel and Disconnect is about when he decided to leave his job and become a professional musician. And with all these incidences, he created a masterpiece. Number 3. The Ghosts of Christmas Eve by Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Originally, this started out as a made-for-TV movie, which was later converted into an album. The story itself is about a runaway child who takes refuge in an abandoned theater on Christmas Eve. But then she experiences these ghostly performances of the theater's past. I won't go into the story any further just to avoid spoilers, but musically, it's the power of rock meets the majesty of classical. But what they did for the 2023 re-release of this album is that they included the narration. See, TSO actually has a Christmas trilogy of rock operas, and when you see them live, a narrator comes out, tells a few passages of poetry, and then the band plays a song that coincides with it. But the narration isn't featured on any of the Christmas trilogy albums. But the 2023 re-release of this does. And it's a big help, because one issue concept albums have is the story is told through lyrics. And if you're not paying attention, then it's gonna go right over your head. But here, we have a narrator that tells the story. Plus, some of the songs on concept albums are structured like theater pieces and aren't structured with traditional verse-chorus structure, which again, you'll get lost in if you're not paying attention. So be sure to check them out live. Anyway, moving on.
No, seriously, you have to go see them. This man talked me into it, and it's the biggest spectacle I've ever seen. Just look at this. Their motto? Fog it, light it, blow it up. Just don't make it boring. And TSO decks the halls with fireballs.
Number 2. Neuratias by Chevelle. Neuritas by Chevelle. I honestly have no idea if I'm pronouncing that right. This album is a sci-fi fever dream. For starters, the title is an acronym for Nothing is Real and This is a Simulation. And the first song, Verrucht, sets up this eerie feeling of what lies ahead. It kind of sounds like Tool, only less, douchey.
Florida, huh? Alright.
Then we blast off with So Long, Mother Earth. And our journey continues with Mars Simula. Man, that riff swings! And then something feels unsettling. By now, the story is starting to form, and I will let you finish it from there. But it does end on a rather confusing note. I won't go into full detail because, again, I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But regardless if the story makes sense or not, the songs are a blast! Plus, Chevelle does the one thing that I encourage all bands, hell, all performers to do. They sell their own autograph. And this isn't some limited run thing. They do this with virtually all of their albums. This is a fantastic thing to do because it takes away the profits from resellers. I mean, look at this. Why would you pay this much money for a signed vinyl when you can get it directly from the source and a lot cheaper? Your fans will be so happy because they'll have easy access to your autograph and won't have to bother with resellers. And get this, I shot them a DM telling them that, and they reply back saying that's exactly why they do it. So to other performers out there, take note from a platinum selling metal band. Just sell your autograph. And hey, you can still make money on VIP packages too. Cause how else are they supposed to get a photo with you? Number 1. Vaxis Act 2, A Window of a Waking Mind by Coheed and Cambria. I absolutely love this album. Hell, this whole band offers more than just good songs. I'll get back to that in a minute, but right now let's focus on the music. The first track starts out minimal, and then we blast off into the stars. And with track 2, our story continues. And yes, I said continues, but we're still on the music. We get a fun rock song. A mysterious sounding pop song. And even a Michael Jackson sounding song. When you need a Plus, just like our previous entry, this has more of a traditional verse-chorus structure, where most others sound like theater pieces, which makes an album like this more accessible for people who are unfamiliar with this writing style. As for the story, and this is the cool part, they wrote an actual book to tell the story. Yes, the cool thing about Coheed and Cambria is they wrote an ongoing book series and their music serves as a companion piece. What kind of book? A space opera called The Amory Wars. Although the first time I opened one of their books, I came across a sex scene and went, as in polyamory? But I digress. And Vaxis is a sequel-ish series, where Act 2 follows Act 1. If you want to know more about Coheed and Cambria, check out the video I made about them, link in the description. But they went all in on this gimmick. Their lyrics, their merch, their logo is all based on their book series. And as cool as this is, there's another reason I put them at number 1. A more serious reason. See, the whole point of this video is because our culture is going down the drain. Most people don't know this, but America's biggest export isn't some material thing. It's popular culture. America used to be at the forefront of all of it. But it's been going down the drain because studios gave up telling good stories for...
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
And the heads of these studios and the actors and writers and other people involved are excellent candidates for...
I'm Chris Hansen. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
We can no longer trust Hollywood to fix this. The time has come for us to create our own entertainment, away from Hollywood. And to all you writers out there, I'm here to tell you there's another avenue for your work. Music. Take your story and put it to music. And this isn't some new phenomenon. Here's some of my friends with some of their favorite concept albums.
Hey, I'm JJ. My favorite concept album is Coheed and Cambria's Afterman. It takes place in the same Amory Wars universe that was mentioned earlier with the Vaxis album. However, this takes place years and years and years before any of the events of the Vaxis storyline. And yeah, it tells the story of Cyrus Amory, who is a kind of an astronaut type of man who goes on this really perilous journey into what is called the Keywork. It's basically this interstellar journey that he may or may not come back from, and I don't want to say any more because I don't want to, ruin anything for you guys, but it is absolutely heart-wrenching, and it's the only concept album that has nearly made me cry. But it's a 10 out of 10 as far as the music and storyline, so yeah, I suggest you go check it out.
What is up, everyone? My name is Ro. I'm from War Machine Merch, and I was asked to talk about my favorite concept record. One of my favorite concept records is Demanufacture by the band Fear Factory. This is their second full-length record, and it was the record that really made me fall in love with Fear Factory. The story is very much a conglomeration of Terminator and Blade Runner, and kind of has a little bit of Dune in there. Just a lot of, not post-apocalyptic sci-fi, but just a lot of really crazy kind of sci-fi, very almost steampunkish, but it's very chrome. It's very much about robotics and machinery, and it's about the idea of what it means to be human versus what it means to be like a replicant, like in Blade Runner. Are they really human? Can they be human? And it's about this whole journey of this person, his humanity amongst his machinery, and kind of what makes him him, and you know, goes into like existential awareness and this almost like existential crisis of what it means to be a robot, and are robots human, and all these kinds of things. Or can they be human? Do they have a soul? And I think Demanufacture is just an incredible record from the very beginning to the very end. It is everything, and as a huge sci-fi guy, as a huge Star Wars nerd, this record is just so goddamn good. So definitely check out Demanufacture by Fear Factory, one of the most amazing concept records ever made.
Hello there, everybody, wherever you happen to be. My name is Lee Tokar, voice actor, cartoons, things, writer, painter, love the arts. I was asked by my friend Justin Sprower, who is my friend as well as an assistant of mine sometimes, and he had this concept to ask people what their favorite rock concept album is. And by far, hands down, without flinching, I can say it's Pink Floyd The Wall. I just had to say some stuff about it because it's been so impactful in my own little corner of my life. I really relate to Pink, who's the lead character in The Wall. Abused situation at home, which I can relate to. I had a problem with substance abuse. He rose to fame. He ended up being a cult hero, which I always wanted to be. And I don't think I made it quite that far, but some of you know me. And then it's all about the dictatorship that happens there and this sort of quasi-Nazi regime. And when I looked at it as a punk rocker at the time, I was a punk rocker, then I was a rock and roll person. It was about oppression and brainwashing, and that's what he rebelled against. And I was a street kid, run away at 12, foster home kid, abuse there, and, you know, had to literally fight my way through group homes. So even when I was on the street, there was always Pink Floyd, The Wall. It somehow makes a jumble, a kaleidoscope of fantastic showmanship and musicianship and storytelling come to life in a very cohesive and very, I mean, we're talking high caliber stuff here. And these are the reasons why Pink Floyd The Wall will always be my favorite concept rock albums. That's only in my opinion, right? So, you know, I might be wrong, but I know I'm not. But Pink Floyd The Wall, that one's for me. Anyway.
Writers, I know you're out there and there is hope for you. Just take your work and tell it through another medium, a medium where people are. And I'm telling you, you will get noticed. If it worked for Coheed and Cambria, it can work for you. And to consumers, we need to start embracing and supporting these people. We can't just sit around and hope for the BBC to fix Doctor Who. Nor can we just wait for Hollywood to find their moral compass. We need to embrace independent creators, and who knows, maybe these people have the next big thing. This is the Concert Cruizer saying, tell your story.